All right, here we are. It is, Saturday morning? Third morning meeting of our May Campout. And I don't know that we had any particularly wonderful activity last night. I know there were a few things that happened yesterday we're going to talk about. But like we usually do, we're going to start here and just go around the group, and anybody has anything they're going to share. Remember, everybody, if you have any questions, when we're on that person, to go ahead and speak up then. So we're going to start over here. Peter, anything from last night or yesterday?
Well, I nothing very definitive. I heard a couple of thumps off in the woods last night, about 10:45, 11 o'clock. Don't know what they were. I think everybody else was at the fire, or a lot of folks. And then this morning I was up about 6 and just walked around and went over to that path off the road behind the Chevy truck there, which I think was the one where Claire was spooked yesterday, and thought, okay, well, I'll go in there and just see what happens, how I feel. And I went in there. I wasn't carrying any apparatus of any kind, held my hands up to show that I had nothing in my hands, and got in there a little ways, and I just felt this warm, comforting, friendly feeling, and I just enjoyed that for a few minutes, and then walked around and then came out.
Very cool. Right on. Okay, Debbie?
Well, nothing happened around here. Nancy and I went up to the gifting area behind the fire station, and it had been hit big time. The bucket was down, everything was gone. There were lids with no containers, and then Nancy and I went down to the river after we reset it up, and then Courtney came down with a empty peanut butter container and said that she had found it quite a ways away from the gifting area.
Okay. Was there something else that happened when you were down there?
We heard rocks go in the river.
Okay.
We didn't see any, but we heard the rocks go in the river.
About how far away from you were the rocks going in?
Oh, probably 100 feet or so.
Upriver, downriver?
Upriver.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
And how many did you hear, you think?
Probably 4.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any possible connection to something you were doing, like a reaction from anything?
Well,
maybe?
we had been throwing rocks into the river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay. Pat?
About the same with me. Nothing really happened around here last night that I'm aware of. Tristan had a recorder out. He'll tell you what he got on that. I went to check out our gifting area because since we've been here, we've been leaving food there every night. And every night it's been getting hit. And they open mason jars and peanut butter jars. The lids are left there. Everything was cleaned out pretty good, so we restocked and we'll check it again today.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Tristan?
I slept like a log last night, so I didn't hear anything. But so I was gonna ask Peter. Peter, did you sneeze at all this morning when you got up?
I might have coughed.
Coughed?
I don't remember sneezing.
Okay, so about 10 hours into this recording, and I had it going on all night, fire tents. 10 hours into it, I would guess then, maybe 6, 7 o'clock. That's why I was wondering if you sneezed, because I got this weird sound on here that I thought was a sneeze. Let's see if I could play it. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's
That
odd.
sounds like it could be a sneeze.
Yeah, it does sound like a sneeze.
I don't know what that is, but it happens 10 hours into the recording.
Is that
Okay.
4 times, or are you repeating it?
Oh, it happens twice. I'm repeating it.
Okay.
So what time did you set it out? Because you can advance 10 hours.
I can't remember. What
Was that
time it
when I was with you? That would have
Yeah,
been
that
around
was
8
that was before
it was dark. That was about 8 o'clock. So 10 hours into it would be 6 a.m. this morning.
There you go.
The sneeze is like
Right. To me, it sounded I mean, it kind of sounded humanoid, but I don't know.
Well, they're kind of humanoid.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it sounds like, "Rrr!" You know, "Rrr!"
That's a
That
sneeze.
sure sounds like my sneeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
debunk.
Okay, debunked.
Sounds good.
I don't remember sneezing, but I was half asleep, so.
So it's
That's a-
unknown
put
then.
that in
It
the
could
questionable.
possibly you, but
Yeah.
not definitively you. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you, Tristan.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sandy, anything?
No,
No.
nothing significant.
Okay. Penny.
We took the bucket of lights up Peacock Trail here. We had helped Patrick kind of clear it yesterday, so we were looking for a spot that was going to be maybe 40 yards long. So it's controlled by remote control. It's a small spackle and paste bucket that we put camo tape all around so it wouldn't look like a white thing hanging there. It's hanging by 40-pound test with a swivel. So we hung it up there. I turned the blue lights on, and we did maybe 40 minutes or an hour up there. I mean, well into darkness. And we were hoping to attract something in, just because you hear a lot of the stories of blue lights in the forest or strange lights. And we thought we'd replicate that and see if we could bring something in. We played a little bit of whistles and harmonica in advance just to get some attention to our spot. Nothing.
No.
Didn't get any response.
Nothing at all.
And then I heard nothing in the tent as I was sleeping. I didn't catch any kind of sounds last
Okay.
night.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Nothing in particular, except, you know, I'm sensing that we're being watched above the school bus, and had taken some pictures, and
I'll stop you.
yeah, the one tree in particular up at the top, it looks like, when I looked at the picture, I could see a figure standing next, you know, off to the next to the tree. And I'm thinking to myself, it looks like an Indian face, and one other one. And then someone else, I showed someone else without giving any input, but then they said it looked like an Indian face too. So I had two different people. So I got to do what I do normally with photographs and do a little bit of enhancement, software enhancement, so I could see if I could really pull something out of that. So we're going to wait and see what happens with that.
Okay.
You know, but other than that, you know, I was busy yesterday with some things, and it was just a pretty normal day.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. Thank you. Courtney.
I didn't have anything go on here last night, but we were driving back from the cabin, and on the right side of 410, Virginia says, "Mommy." Talk loud.
There's two red orb thingies up in the trees.
Oh
About
yeah.
150 feet up in the air.
Wow, and that was just alongside the highway.
Yeah.
Wow.
How big were they? Really? Basketball
Big.
size?
Were they moving or
No, just
stationary?
stationary sitting there. But there's no cabins. I mean, it's on the steep slope right there.
Wow.
As you come around the corner, the big rock wall is right there.
Okay. Cool. Right on. And you've never seen anything like that up
No.
here before. And how long have you been coming through the green water area?
My whole entire life,
Okay.
Was that at night or
39 years.
was that in the day or night?
Night.
Nighttime. Okay.
Right on. Very cool.
So
Okay.
she saw
Oh,
the
I
ice,
must-
the
I
reflection
must-
from the ice.
Add though that the elk were coming across the road like crazy right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. So the herd was
Saw-
moving.
away.
They were startled.
coming
They
to
were
the
shook up.
riverside.
Okay. Right on. Cool. Okay. Anything, Nancy?
No, other than when I was up on the green water there, we were down and I heard the rocks dropping as well into the water. And it did. It sounded like it was kind of up around the bend just a little bit, and like they were coming off the cliff and in. So
Wow.
yeah, and we heard that. It was at least 3 times, maybe 4. I heard
Yeah.
3 of them.
Okay.
And the first time I heard it, I just thought, oh, and then but then it happened again, and it happened again, and we were talking and to them, and at least I was, and so they knew we were there, and I think it was, to me, I thought it was just a way of acknowledging,
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it was our first camp out we had. We went down there and had lunch, and as we were leaving, there was a large rock went kerplunk in the river. Boulder. Yeah.
I got nada. Nix.
Nothing?
Walong. Oopso. Nothing.
So sorry. There's still time for you.
When it happens, it happens.
Okay. All right. Patrick?
You know, not too much, but about after everybody went to bed, of course, I'm sleeping right here on my cot, and we did have a lot of owl chatter.
Oh, okay.
They weren't big owls; they were probably normal. You know, it was normal size owl chatter, but all of a sudden, ooh, ooh, ooh. It was like
So you
two
couldn't
of
tell
them.
if it was like a 2.5-foot owl or an 8-foot owl.
No, it sounded like a normal owl, but there was two of them talking to each other, and there was 2 or 3 wood knocks.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
so,
Cool. Right on. Any
So-
idea about what time that was?
1-ish in the
Okay.
morning. I think we talked to people. It could have been between 1 and 2, I think.
Okay. All right.
It was when everybody was sleeping. I'd gotten up to stoke the fire.
Okay, right on. Okay, now that brings us to you two. And I think this will be pretty entertaining for all of us. Why don't you share what happened yesterday?
Well, yesterday we were after breakfast. It was, I don't know, towards the
It was
mid.
nap time.
Yeah, it was nap time. Anyway, we walked up to the tent and we're right off this road right here, this muddy road. There's nobody behind us camping. The closest thing's the toilet but that's, this way. We're above the toilet, and then we have the Jeep that's parked right in the middle right there. And we were in there, and when you get into the tent, Claire's got her cot over here on this side, my cot's over here on this side.
I was already in there.
Yeah,
laying
and she
down.
was in there. So I come up, get in, and we're just sitting there, and we're talking, and Claire is, what we were talking about, or what she was telling me, was kind of going over the fun time you guys all had out in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, and she's telling the stories. We're just cracking up, and we're just laughing so hard. And inside the tent, we have our tent windows are halfway unzipped on her side and on my side, and we're just cracking up. And all of a sudden, I hear this big boom, this big footstep, and then it was like and it was a whistle. And I thought, and I go, Claire, did you hear that? And she's like, no. And it was like, I go, hello, hello, and look out, there's nobody there, and I'm like, hello, we're saying, who's there? Because I thought maybe someone was walking up, and I just heard that last footstep, because it was like right on my side.
Yeah,
And
I can vouch for everybody. Most of the group had left. The few of us that were here, none of us went back that way.
Yeah,
None of us.
and it was like, but it was also the whistle. It was like a human whistle, like you were whistling a tune, and I got the last part of it. And after thinking about this, because I kept thinking, that sounds so familiar. And before you guys left that night for your night walk, and you were putting your chair on, strapping it onto the back, and I was kind of teasing you, and I was like, I whistled that, that army song. And that's exactly the last part of the whistle that I've decided, that's what I'm interpreting, was some of it, whatever it was making that whistle. There's nobody there. Absolutely nothing, but I would swear on my life it happened. So Claire's like, I'm like, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And she's like, no. And she
I was
goes,
talking.
yeah. And then she's like, what the hell? And she starts throwing this huge tantrum. And she's like laying on the cot, and she's like, And she's, God damn it, nothing ever happens to me. I want to see something. I'm putting in all this time and energy, and I'm really putting myself out there.
Tom told me to go out on my own, and I
Yeah,
have.
I've been going out on my own, and then you're just come and you just sit down on the cot, and you hear something, and I'm like, and I mean seriously, huge tizzy fit, swearing right and left, and I'm kind of going, Claire, just calm down, it'll happen. I go, maybe you're trying too hard, let it happen organically, and we're just kind of going back and forth, and then within 5 minutes, you hear right outside my window, 3 big stomps, and then you hear,
Yeah, it wasn't a growl. It was like, okay.
no, it was like, what
And
the hell?
really did think somebody was walking.
Trying here.
Trying.
And I said, did you hear that? She's like, yes! And then she jumps up and she runs to the window. She goes, hello, hello, who's there? I don't see anyone. And I'm like, thank you. So that's exactly what it sounded. It was like stomp, stomp, stomp. Just like he's saying, Jesus, all right here.
I gotta leave my bus open with a little flashing light. Come here.
And pitch and fit.
Don't you love me?
And the thing is, you know, whenever I've had different little experiences, you know, I always preface it with, you know, it could have been this, it could have been that, or whatever. But this time, I'm sorry guys, you're going to take my word for it, because it was right outside the window. And there was no mistaking it, because again, it would have been just like if someone was walking up hard and then making that very, you know, that sound. And it was right there. There was nothing there. We went out. Unfortunately, I mean, nothing. I mean, there were no, you know, no prints or anything. And it would have been a good place for prints because it's super muddy right over there. If it's right by our tent, you wouldn't see anything. But if it was just a step off onto the road, there's a lot of mud there. And we looked all around there. We didn't see any prints or anything, unfortunately. But I know what I heard, you know, before that and then that one. And thank God Claire heard it. Because from then on, I'm just going to have to be whispering to you guys when anything happened to me. Don't tell Claire, but you know.
I say she pitches a daily fit.
I know. It was lovely, you guys. I mean, she
It's
really.
the temper tantrum technique.
She had her full legs out kicking and stuff. You are not. I swear to God.
Well, if it works on purpose, I was trying to provoke.
So
Good
she
job.
said.
Charming.
I know.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
All right.
It was still dark out, but I started to hear something, and I wasn't sure what it was, but it was continuing. So I'm like, Claire, and she's facing me. She's like, doing these little baby snores, and I kept going, Claire, and I'm like, what the hell? So I got my blanket and I'm smacking her in the face with it, and she's just laying there like, so you guys, if I'm in trouble, I'm calling out for you, because she's gonna be just laying there.
I got the same thing with Pat. If it's any consolation, she can't hear, so I'm going to be eaten.
Okay with me.
If she wakes up and you're just bones.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah, that was it then.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
David, anything?
Well, I wasn't here last night. Do you want to talk about what we encountered over there?
Well, watch you.
Oh, of course.
You're better at it.
So Claire wanted to see where, a couple nights ago I slept out over here in that same path that Peter had gone on, and a tree snapped behind me, about 40 feet behind me, and she hadn't seen it yet. So I took her down that path to show her the tree, and we got down in the area around the tree, and then all of a sudden she started getting really sick. Like nausea just came over her, and she goes, I gotta go. And then you came back here and you did your thing, and then we went back again, and we went down past the tree and over, and I said I was originally down here. There's sort of like a glen off to the left-hand side, and it looks like there's a couple trees that were pushed over and leaned up against a deadfall, so almost like they're trying to start to create a lean-to or something. And so we went up there, we looked around, and then on the other side of the deadfall, there's actually like 2 or 3 large logs that are pushed together, and so in the middle it looks like a huge nest.
Okay.
Like right
by the creek?
Yeah.
No, it's actually down past where the tree fell over here, and it's over sort of in the middle. It's not quite close to between here and the creek. You saw the logs. The logs were pretty huge.
Yeah.
And it's like it's inside, so it's almost like you can be sitting down there and not be seen at all.
Yeah.
So
Like a blind.
like a
It's
blind,
like a rectangular.
but it's rectangular
Yeah,
the
like
way
a-
the trees fell, and then it's inside there was full of like
rectangular bed.
pine needles and like a bedding. But I just thought that the fact that when we went there the first time and you had that reaction, she was like really
Interesting.
nauseous and felt like we were trespassing. And then
Right.
when we came back, we just said, hey, we're not here to do anything. We're just here to look. And
We have no cameras.
no
and then Barbara
cameras. And
with
then
the
Barbara
camera.
showed up with a camera. I thought, okay, well, when I'm heading out, I'll be hit tonight and knocked into the river, and no one will ever see me again. But that's okay.
I got a free pass for the
You
camera.
get a free pass because you do that all the time, so it's okay.
Is that it then?
I think that's it.
Okay. Anybody have anything they want to add?
I have a question.
What's that?
So why do you think she got sick? Do you think it was like when you were over there the other night and you were feeling really ill?
I mean,
Because she
anything
came
at this
back, and I
point
know
is
she wasn't
speculation.
feeling
I mean, I can speculate all I want. Why exactly? I don't know why.
Yeah.
Why? Like, because I didn't get. I was fine.
Yeah.
She got ill, and I don't know if it's because I was like, okay, look, dude, you camped here, and we got you out of here. Now you bring someone else over here. I mean, I don't know.
Because
who
you
knows?
were sick the first night. from
Because I
being
was,
over there.
I was really sick. I mean, the next day I got you saw how
Yeah.
terrible. I actually went home. I was so sick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was. And what was odd about that is when I went to lay in the tent over here, I moved my tent over here, back behind where we are right now. And when I went to lay down in the tent, I had that same sort of that poop type smell that I had the night when I was over there. And it just lasted for a few minutes, and then it went away. And then when I woke up from my sleep, I was sick as a dog, really, really sick.
Wow.
And I was like gasping for air. And I think it was like, okay, we're going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
You're not going to do this ever more. Okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. No more sleeping on game trails.
But when Claire came back, like you said, she came back to camp because she
Yeah.
was feeling so ill. She looked like he had looked
Yeah.
when he was sick, really pale and sweaty, and she was like, "I'm so sick to my stomach right now."
How long were you sick for?
Not very long. I just walked over here and walked it off, and then it went away, and I said, I want to go right back.
It's like 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
15
and I
minutes.
want to go back.
Like when she got out of that area, it seemed to be like disappeared.
But it was creepy the first time we went back there. It was creepy.
Okay.
I think it would be interesting if, again, just something for us to learn from, but if they talk about their eye shine. Pat and Penny and
What?
the eye shine
the
you
eye
thought you guys
shine.
saw.
Well, that's why I didn't report it, because we debunked it. It was
But I
a-
think that it's good for other people watching it, so they don't automatically assume what they're
that
seeing.
everything is eye
Exactly.
Well, when we did the blue orb light bucket experiment last night, Claire was closest to this camp, which is probably 6 feet from me, and she kind of turned or something, and it caught her eye, and there was a white light up in the tree, or up on the hillside, the bank. It's a steep incline.
Yeah.
And we watched it for 10 minutes. We're talking to it. Can you show us your other eye? We finally deduced after some time that it was Pat's light where she had put the little gifting spot and the recorder was taken. That little light was still there after 12 days and it was shining.
There it is.
There's the culprit.
There's the eye.
We thought that was the eye shine last night. So don't believe everything is eye shine, people.
That's funny.
Look, it's
And Patrick climbed up that
Oh.
steep incline and pulled that thing down to show us, hey, ladies.
Oh, one more thing, Barb, I just have to say. Barb has made some rules, and it's no scaring and no pranks. Well, we were coming out, it's pitch black, and I had turned off my, headlight, and so I was just getting ready to walk right in front of his bus, his remodeled cool bus, and he jumps out, and he scared me, and I screamed like a girl. I screamed louder than
We heard
I
you
ever.
clearly over here.
I didn't know I could scream. So eventually Patrick comes over to go, just want to see if Rob is okay. I go,
We knew what happened from here. It's like, oh, I think Rob just scared somebody over there.
And he
I better make
did.
sure Rob's okay, because I was thinking it was Penny and Pat, and I'm like, no, Rob.
Well, I thought
Rob's,
about going
like,
around
got
the-
his eyes gouged out. And
Originally, I was going to walk around the other side and come out and go, but I thought, no, I'll stand in the front and see who comes out.
that would have been them.
And then they would have killed me.
Called you out of here in my trailer today.
So he scared me good, and so Barb said, okay, since he broke the rule,
First
it's
ever,
on. You can get
ever broken rule.
First ever.
You can
Yeah.
get him
Rob.
back.
Yeah.
So
No wonder why the
Rob,
squats don't
just so
like
you know,
you.
buddy, I am going to get you back.
Yep.
And it's going to be good.
Yep. Fair
I
game.
scream like a girl too. So
Good.
Okay, so anybody else? Anything?
How
We
about
good?
you, Barb?
No, I'm good. You know, I heard a few hollers last night that were distant, nothing definitive. You know, could have been other campers and other campsites that are, you know, down the road. I don't know what it was, but nope, nothing new for me. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Wrapping up our meeting. All
All
right,
right,
thanks
yeah.
everybody. High hopes for today and tonight. Woohoo!